Hello, friends and fellow neighbors, and thank you for joining us wherever you may be. As always, I'm Colton the Bias, and joining me today is Christopher Cooley. He is a teacher at Franklin Regional Middle School in Western PA, and he has gone above and beyond as his service as a teacher. He is also the founder and executive director of a nonprofit in the Western PA area called Serving Other Souls, which he will tell you more about. But first off, Mr. Coley, thank you so much for taking some time out of your night to be with us.
Well, thank you for having me, sir.
Alrighty, so do you think you could maybe start off by telling us about the mission of Serving Other Souls?
Yeah. In the spring of 2011, we happened to have two events that happened in the spring of 2011, the tsunami in Japan and a tornado in Hempfield. And they happened within 2 weeks of each other. And I looked around at the landscape where I taught in terms of my kids and noticed that not a lot of the kids really were even noticing that these types of terrible things were happening, and therefore didn't feel really the need to try and fix it or help in any way, shape, or form. So we created a multiple day event at the school where I teach Franklin, where I took 50 kids over 2 days, 25 on one day and 25 on the second day, to the Westmoreland County Salvation Army in Greensburg. And we worked on the tornado relief packaging that was going on to help the families that were affected by the tornado. And while that was going on, the kids back at school were doing origami paper cranes and doing calligraphy in the Japanese languaging, writing about things of like faith, hope, and love. And they were reading books about these origami cranes. The story of the origami cranes is if someone makes 1,000 origami cranes, that a wish will be granted. So a company in Seattle in 2011 said, hey, anybody who sends us these paper cranes, we'll donate $1 per paper crane towards the mission relief over in the tsunami areas of Japan that were affected. So we had these kids doing all these different service projects, both off-site of school and at school. And when they were done, we polled the kids and asked them what they thought of the event. And we had 102 kids in the whole Castle House. By the way, your brother was a member of that house a long time ago. And he was a member of SOS, so that's cool that we get to make this connection. We polled the kids and asked them what they thought of the experience. And 99% of them had never done any service work in their life at all. And of the those who were polled, we asked how many of them enjoyed their work, and they unilaterally loved it. So that summer, God really talked to me, and he just said, you got to do something. And you got these kids who want to do work, but nobody has created something that does that. So the mission of SOS is twofold. A, to train kids to be servant leaders through events that we create, and then let those events that we create serve the needy in any way, shape, or form, whether it's a fire that burned down a house, whether it's a Thanksgiving food drive, whether it's clothing for the needy, for the homeless, whether it's going to the Ronald McDonald House and making meals for the family staying at the Ronald McDonald House, whether it's doing a 5K for families that have cancer in some form or fashion. All these different events that we do train kids to be servant leaders and help the needy at the same time.
Overall, what do you think the biggest impact that Serving Other Souls has had on the students who have participated over the years?
Great question. I think two things. One, it teaches them leadership skills, organizational skills, interpersonal skills, and empathy the most. And on the back of our shirts, I'm wearing one of the SOS shirts, and on the back of the shirts, I don't know if you can see it, it says, you got empathy, which is, back in the day, there was a famous slogan, got milk. And that was about the time that our SOS organization was built. And one of the kids said, hey, why don't we put the slogan, got empathy, with a question mark? Because Empathy is one of the most important things that a human being can have, but so many lack it. And it is not something that's intrinsic. It's something that's built by experience and service. And very few organizations build events to infuse that in kids. And parents can do that with their own individual families. But to my knowledge, there aren't very many organizations like SOS that's our mission. So I think all of those things, leadership, organization, but most important, an empathetic soul.